and welcome to Gaelic Football Views on CavanTV.com.
On tonight's show, we'll be looking back over the GAA results in club, county and colleges football since our last show.
First up, we'll bring you all the results from round one of the ACFL. So
we start off with Division 1A, and these games all took place on Sunday afternoon. The first of it saw a repeat of last year's senior championship final between Cavan Gaels and Kings Court, and this took place in Terry Coyle. Cavan Gaels came out with a 4-point victory here on a goal and 9 points to 8 points, so a good start to the Terry Coyle men.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was a great and a really interesting game as well to start, like having played each other in the championship final last year. So I'm sure Kings Court will be disappointed that they didn't get the win, but there's a long way to go in this league yet, so there is.
There sure is. It's from what I've been told, it's a new look Cavan Gaels team. There's a lot of changes on it. A lot of the old guard is gone, so it'll be just interesting to see how they manage to, fully transition now, because I don't think Eamon Riley is going to be available. He definitely won't be available for the foreseeable future. He's getting married, and then obviously in honeymoon and whatnot, so it'll be just interesting to see. I think Robert Maloney Derham was named captain, so that's a good choice there. He's a good leader.
Yeah, he'd be definitely a good man to lead your team. Yeah. He'll always give you 150%, so it'll be an interesting one. So it definitely
will.
The next game saw Lavey taking on Ballyhaise, and Lavey won this in a scoreline of 3 goals and 17 points to Ballyhaise's 1 goal and 15. It's not too many games you're going to lose when you score 115 though.
You're damn right, yeah. It was a massive scoring game, and as we always say, goals and 17 points win games.
Yeah, it's that old cliche.
It is that one,
definitely. If you can get a few goals and 17 points, you're usually going to win a game,
You sure are, but that would have been a very interesting game, because Ballyhaise now under the management of John Brady, who previously managed Lavey, so they'd have known each other inside out, but when it comes to those sort of games, everybody's up for it, and look, at the credit to both teams. That's some wonderful scoring. 16 scores to 20 scores. Like, anybody at that game was treated to a spectacle of scoring.
They were treated to a score every minute and a half, 2 minutes.
Phenomenal going. The third game in Division 1A saw Lacken taking on Mullahoran, and this was in Croke Park in Lacken. And
Croke Park.
It's Crow Park. Sorry, not Croke.
The Croke Park, didn't they?
Well, it's a big local derby. Fairness, if two clubs deserve it to be in Croke Park, it's Lacken and Mullahoran, so it is. But Mullahoran came out with the victory here on a scoreline of 17 points to Mullahoran. Lacken's 2 goals and 7. So a convincing enough 4-point win there for Mullahoran.
17 scores to 9. That's the thing that stands out to me. Yeah, look, Lacken are always good for goals. They've always got inside forwards that are going to score you goals. The likes of Raymond Gallagher, the likes of Finbar O'Reilly.
Was Raymond not in goals?
Is Raymond in goals from this year?
I've no idea, but he's some goalkeeper on the Cavan team.
He could be scoring goals and saving them up the other end as well. So he could,
he sure could. But yeah, but Lacken traditionally, look, they've a few lads that tend to come back later in the season. But Mullahoran, I know the first 2 games might be Breffni leagues, but that's 3 wins now.
3 on the trot, yeah. 3
in competitive games. So Mullahoran have started extremely well.
And the final game in round 1 of Division 1A saw Castlerahan taking on newly promoted Coothill, and Castlerahan won this on a scoreline of 3 goals and 9 points to Coothill's 1 goal and 11. So again, that old cliche, the goals being the big difference in this game, Damien. Yeah,
even though it was 12 scores each, the goals made the difference. So, and from what I was told, an extremely competitive game. Like, there was never a huge amount in it. Coothill, talking to a Coothill man today, and he was saying the difference was that Coothill hadn't been used to playing at that level of intensity consistently for an hour.
Yeah,
that fits and starts was getting them through Division 1A or Division 1B games last year, but to play Castlerahan and to try and beat Castlerahan, you have to be at your best all the time. And they were at full tilt. Coothill weren't missing anybody really. I think young Conley is the only one that's missing, but he's out for the year by the sounds of it. So it was a full tilt Coothill team, and the experience of playing Castlerahan and Division 1 teams like that will stand the Cootehill massively.
Definitely. And especially putting up a good performance against Castlerahan down in Ballyjames-Duff on the first day of the league, that's going to stand to them. I don't see Cootehill going down.
No,
so
I don't see them having much trouble actually in that division. I think they'll win games.
Yeah.
They will win games, I would say, but so will Castlerahan.
No, that's it, yeah. They're always going to be thereabouts.
The Division 1B then, moving on quickly, saw Den taking on Drumlane, and this was in Crosskeys, again, Den's new pitch.
On the new pitch.
And which seems to be a lovely, lovely ground, lovely surface.
Anybody I've talked to that's played on it has said it's probably the best pitch they've ever played on.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's absolutely incredible.
It's beautiful.
Just like a carpet, the ground perfectly, matured. The grass perfectly matured. They've let it. They haven't rushed in.
They could have rushed in last summer and they didn't.
And they didn't.
Yeah.
And that little bit of extra time has really, really benefited the pitch.
But then you got a home victory as a result of the wonderful pitch, where they scored a goal and 11 points to Drumlane's 9 points. So a wonderful victory there for the Crosskeys men.
Yeah, 5-point victory there.
Probably missing a few.
I think it's their first victory as well. I think they had 2 losses in the Breffni League already. So
yeah,
good.
And
win.
Still probably missing the St. Pat's boys.
Yeah.
Who'd be?
Well, Ben Connery would
or Thomas Edward Donohoe.
Yeah, Ben's injured, so he definitely wouldn't have been able to. I wouldn't think.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't think any of the St. Pat's boys. From what I was told, actually, on the St. Pat's lads, anybody on the first 15 or maybe coming on early in the game weren't allowed to play. Everybody else in the panel was allowed to play, which is a very sensible decision.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, definitely. The next game saw Killygarry taking on Cucullins, and this was played out in Killygarry. It ended in a draw, a goal and 11 points to a goal and 11 points. I believe that Cucullins had the better of the first half, played really, really well, got into a bit of a lead, and then Killygarry had the better second half, came back and drew level, and by all accounts, a draw was a fair result.
Very good.
It was, so.
Very good. Arva opened up their campaign in Division 1B with a victory at home against Crushallaw, and they finished with a 1-point win here. So it was 12 points to Arva and a goal and 8 to Crushallaw. So
that's brilliant.
Great result for Arva.
That's absolutely brilliant for Arva. So it is, that's 2 leagues they're after jumping up in 2 years.
That's right.
And then their first game in Division 1B.
To come away with a win against a senior club.
A senior club, it's a wonderful victory for Arva, and well done to all involved.
Indeed. And
the last game saw Gowna taking on Killashandra, and Gowna came away with a 3-point victory here. It was again that old cliche. It was 1 goal and 10 points to Killashandra's 10 points.
It's that cliche: goal wins game.
A goal wins.
A goal wins a game.
A goal wins a game. Always say it. Always and ever say it.
And never changes.
If you can get 1 goal, you'll win a game. I always said it.
Yeah. Well, we've always been saying we never change away from that. That brings us on, well done to Gowna, that brings us on to Division 2, and the first game was Swanlinbar were taking on Killincare down in Swanlinbar, and the home side came away with the victory here, 2 goals and 15 points to 2 goals and 13 points. Big win for Swanlinbar.
Yeah, and that old cliche as well, Damien.
Garrod McKiernan wins games.
If you can score 15 points and get 2 goals, and the other team only gets 13 points and 2 goals, well, then you're going to win that game.
That's true. And we've always said it on this show.
Look, Damien, you're managing Killincare. Yeah. Disappointing for you. 2-point victory again. To score 2-13 and lose, it must be, tough, but you said it. Garrod McKiernan was the difference.
Absolutely brilliant. Now, not to take away from the other Swanlinbar players, the likes of Greg McGovern there, Porrick Layden at centre half back, Michael Cunningham at full forward, Breffni McKiernan actually at wing half forward. They're littered with talent. They really are. And Robbie Pryor in corner forward.
Playing, apart from
I think Mark was playing now, but I'm not 100% sure. I think it was just the 2. John definitely wasn't anyway. I don't think John was.
For a small area, they've produced some seriously talented footballers.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
And really, really good, styly footballers.
Yeah, and big, strong men. They really are impressive. They've Christopher Corn's brother in midfield there as well, another big man. They had Greg McGovern at centre half forward, big physical monster of a man, Garrod McKiernan. They really are, when they have everybody fit and available, they're a handful, and it was
last year for them to be involved in a relegation battle was just mind-boggling, because they do have such talent.
They really do. But then last year they were very unlucky with injuries. They were missing a lot of players. I think they're a lot stronger this year. But not to take away, to mention a few players from Killincare, absolutely excellent. Emmett Fitzsimons, just he
Unmarkable.
is. At the minute, he's just playing super stuff. Like,
Right.
he's scoring, he's averaging 6-7 points a game from full forward. And his ball handling is excellent. He's got a turn of pace that when he's winning the ball, he's turning himself around and he's gone very quick. He's only 22, maybe 23,
Really?
yeah. Like, he is
Serious prospect.
a serious prospect still, and I'm going to say something. He will be on a Cavan team before the end of this year. Whether it's the Cavan Juniors and he'll be fit to star for them, I personally think, or he is potentially be county senior. He's playing exceptionally well.
Good
Jason
stuff.
McMahon at wing half back, another young lad. He's only 18. He's 19, I think, on the 1st of January or early January anyway. Very unlucky not to be on the ridge for minor, but an exceptional footballer at wing half back, full of running, good use of the ball. Brian Smith, another wing half back, excellent performance from him too. The Killincare put in a good performance, but just Garrode was the difference on the day.
Very good. Between two good teams,
Yeah.
he was the difference.
Yeah,
He
definitely.
An out star, I suppose. The next game in Division 2 saw Belturbet taking on Baileyborough, and this finished in a draw. Now, I was talking to a Belturbet man today, and he was telling me that Belturbet were well ahead. I think they could have even been 11 or 12 points up, and Baileyborough came back in the second half, and it was the 3 goals that they got in the second half that brought them back into the game, and they stole a draw out of it, basically, I was told. But
so finished 1-14 to 3-8, so
Yeah.
three goals in the second half.
And then, as we always said, if you can get 3 goals, you're always going to draw a game.
Listen, 3 goals draws games. That's just the phrase, the phrase that pays.
The phrase that pays. 3 goals draws games.
Yeah.
But great result, and well done to Baileyborough, like on the comeback. I believe that Bud Fitch and Damien O'Reilly were excellent for Belturbet, and that Michael Argue, when Baileyborough started to get on top a little bit, really came into the game and dominated as well. Like, so it's good to see the county lads doing well.
And again, I'd say Baileyborough are probably missing young Brendan Argue. He's involved with the St. Pat's team, so he probably didn't play, which should be fair enough. So it's Baileyborough, they'll pick up points in that Division 2, there's no doubt about it. The third game in Division 2 saw Drumalee taking on Shercock, and this was up in the hill in Drumalee. Shercock came out with a massive win here. It finished 8 points to Drumalee and 4 goals and 18 points to Shercock. An extremely disappointing result for Drumalee, and more to the point, a disappointing performance.
Look, you mark that one down, you chalk that off as just a bad day at the office. Like, there's no ways there's that much of a difference between Drumalee and Shercock. No. And all they can do is just wipe that one and say, right, we're gone, that game is gone, we just move on and look forward to the next game.
That's exactly it. Bounce back and hopefully not bounce back too quickly or too well, because the next game is against Killincare. It makes it all very interesting. It makes it all very, very interesting.
I didn't realise that. When is that game on?
2 weeks' time, Breffni League.
2 weeks' time in Breffni League. Oh, it's Breffni League.
It's Breffni League.
Oh yeah, but I mean the next league game.
Oh yeah. Ignore the Breffni League. Don't worry about that. Go out and just go out and play useless in that. But the fourth game in the Division 2 saw Butler's Bridge taking on Lara, and this was played in Killishandra because it was a home game for Butler's Bridge, and the home side came away with a 1-point win, 10 points to Butler's Bridge and 9 points to Lara.
That's a good win for Butler's Bridge.
It is indeed.
Lara have a really good and upcoming young team to do, and this is one of the fixtures I looked at and went, I think Lara will get the better of Butler's Bridge here, but it's a good win for Butler's Bridge.
I haven't seen Butler's Bridge first hand this year already in the Breffni League. They have quality. They have a lot of quality. Keevin Riley, who we'll talk about later in the show with the county under 21s, is playing centre half forward for them, and he's an excellent footballer, absolutely excellent. They played with Fergal Flanagan and John Fitzpatrick, a young minor, inside, and Fergal, we know his capabilities as a ball winner and probably as a finisher too at that level would be outstanding. But John Fitzpatrick is a name to be watching. He's full of talent, full of ability.
So fast.
Lightning quick and can score. Now, from what I was told, he got himself into position to score 3 goals, but the Lara goalkeeper was absolutely excellent on the day and just managed to keep them out. But by all accounts, an excellent performance. And in the middle of the field, Jonathan Leddy, ex-soccer player, played outstanding.
Would have been on the under-21 panel as well.
Was on the panel, but didn't actually get togging out last Wednesday night. But he was outstanding in the middle of the field.
That training that he's done all year is going to stand to him and stand to Butler's Bridge going forward.
It definitely is. So Butler's Bridge now, they have a lot of talent, and they still have some players to come back. There's Michael McDermott, who was involved in the county under-21s last year. He's still to come back from injury. So they've a lot to offer too, and they've upcoming young team that will be worth watching.
Yeah, and well, like you look at the likes of Butler's Bridge, small village outside Cavan town, and over the last 15 years, there's been a lot of houses built out there, a lot of influx of people moving into that area, and it's taken maybe 10 years for it to bring the next generation of football around, but they're starting to come through now, and that's definitely going to be seen in the next few years in Butler's Bridge.
Well, that's it, and we'll go out and watch it firsthand because we can go for a pint in the high ball after.
That's it,
which is
Don't
vitally
forget,
important.
If you're going for a drink, make sure you call in to Peter in the high ball in Butler's Bridge.
As always, we have to keep the family plugs going, so we do. The fifth game in Division 2 saw Ballymacue taking on Muncher Connacht, and this was in Ballymacue, and the home side again came away with a victory here, 15 points to a goal and 10, so a 2-point win there.
In a local derby.
Wouldn't be that local. There'd be Mount Nugent between them, acting as referee.
Well, they'd be hosting.
That's it.
Lads, good way. I told you already.
Now go!
Like it'd be a close enough one.
It would, yeah. They'd know each other.
And good victory for Ballymacue there, and after moving on from last year's, the really good win.
Under new management of Patrick Mortis, so that's a good start to it.
So we'll move on now to the ACFL Division 3. Round 1, this was all played on Sunday as well. So the first game saw Kill taking on Shannon Gales, and Shannon Gales came away with a 2-point victory down in Kill there. It was 1-8 to Kill, 1 goal and 10 to Shannon Gales. A good victory for Shannon Gales away from home.
Shannon Gales, with everybody available, are a quality outfit that are capable of promotion in that division, but so are Kill.
Yeah,
with everyone
available.
That's just the difference. That probably I didn't hear much about this game at all, but it's they've got lots of quality both sides there. Probably low score, and I would have expected higher scoring game in that game with those two teams because they have definitely quality. Definitely do. So the second game saw Templeport taking on Mount Nugent. This was down in Bombay, and Templeport came away with a 7-point win here. 2 goals and 14 points to Mount Nugent's 13 points. 2-14 will win you most games.
It will indeed, definitely, and a good young Templeport team coming through there. I know Mount Nugent have lost a couple of players in the last couple of years and maybe are struggling a little bit. They did go down this year in Championship as well, I think. They were in the intermediate, but they elected to bring themselves back down to junior. So probably a good move by Mount
Probably
Nugent.
a good move, and games like that where they're going to be competitive. I know 7 points sounds a lot, but it was only 3 scores really. The goals were the difference. The goals win games, and how many times can we say that in one show?
Well, we'll have to ask you, our viewers, all 3 of them, to
let us know how many times we said it.
If you know how many times we said goals win games, please write it on a postcard and send it to Brian Daly.
But yeah, it's a competitive game, and Mount Nugent, again, that'll serve them well. Once they're competing in games, they'll only improve. So
that's it.
Cornafane were taking on Corla.
Yeah, Cornafane playing Corla down in Cornafane, and the home side came away again with a victory here. 2 goals and 9 points to 7 points. I was going to say there just before you did that was, I'm after saying answers on a postcard. Most of our watchers or viewers would probably be too young to remember
what a postcard
was, or that used to be the way you had to answer a quiz on the TV. Answers on a postcard, please, or whatever. So if you just want to look up the annals or something like that, you'll see that's the way we used to have to do it. There was no text service or phone service.
And people think Gaelic Football Views is just about football. It's history as well. We bring you the history too.
Yeah.
So we do. But anyway, Cornafane won.
Yes, Cornafane. Speaking of history, Cornafane won. They bet Corla 2 goals and 9 points to 7 points. That was a 15 points to 7, 8-point victory for Cornafane. Look, Cornafane are very strong. Corla are making massive strides at the moment with their club and with the setup that they have. But they come up against a tough Cornafane side, and it was kind of a result that was expected, I suppose. Yeah,
and the last game in the All-County Football League in Division 3, saw Knockbride taking on Cavan Gales up in Canningstown or Mountain Lodge, halfway between either. But Knockbride came away with a home victory here.
Yeah.
17 points to Knockbride and a goal and 5 to Cavan GAA. So well done to the Knockbride lads. That's a good win after, I think they were beaten by Jerome in their last Breffni League game. So it's good to see them bouncing back. So that's the All-County Football League brought to a close.
Did we do the Red Hills result?
For some reason now it's not there.
No, I'm just after thinking.
It's right. So that's the Division 1B. We'll
Division
go back.
1B.
We'll go back to Division
Level up,
1B.
Division 1B. No.
For some reason it's not in there.
Red Hills lost to
Drumgoon
by
a goal.
A goal. That's right. A goal in the last minute.
Which was a strange scenario. Again, I was told this story. So
do you know the score? What was it? 111 to something, 11 points or something. But we get the score for you anyway. But anyway, go on. Tell us what.
The story was apparently, now I was told this from a Red Hills source, that the referee, Drumgoon were awarded a free with time pretty much up. With 33 minutes on the clock, a scoreable free, and they hit it wide. And the Red Hills goalkeeper came out.
Level.
And it was level, it was all level. And the Red Hills goalkeeper came out with the ball, put it down on the ground, and he seen the referee with the whistle in the mouth, and just put it on the ground and decided to kick it, thinking that the referee was going to blow up full time. But the referee said he blew it all right, but he blew it because he took the free
21.
from the wrong spot.
Oh, the goal kick from the wrong spot.
The goal kick from the wrong spot, and threw up the ball. And the ball went up in the air and then broke down to the ground, and a Drumgoon man pulled on it from about 20 yards out, and it ended up in the back of the net, and the referee blew it up after the kick out then, but that was the winning goal. So
for taking the goal kick from the wrong
spot.
I believe it was on the 21 instead of the 13-metre line that he took it. He threw the ball up, and I believe as well the ball was pulled on, but it trickled across the line, and that the goalkeeper was still out talking to the referee basically. That could be rumours added to it or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a good story at the same time.
It is, and sure, look, as we know here, the truth has very little to do with a good story.
Oh, that's it, yeah.
It might have nothing to do. The actual score was 14 points to 2 goals and 10. No, that's wrong. It has it on the Cavan GAA website now. You're wrong here,
well,
from what I can
right,
see.
Maybe your source from Red Hills was wrong.
This is possible. This is possible too, but it's,
So basically, Drumgoon were losing by a point.
Is what the website is given, yeah. But
so that's an even better story.
A last-minute goal, absolute last-minute goal.
So if you're from Red Hills and you're watching the show, if you want to tweet us in at Gaelic FE with what actually happened, and we'll read it out on the show as soon as we get it. So if you're from Red Hills, tweet us in, let us know. I'm just on
I'm on Twitter. It's okay.
You're on Twitter.
I'm on Twitter.
Nobody.
No. Wait, give it a minute. No, still nobody.
There's a message. Is that somebody? No.
It's Mammy, is it?
No. Oh, do you know what? It's your mammy.
It's my mammy. Okay.
Well, it's not your mammy. It's your wife.
Oh, right. Okay.
She's tweeting you. Family plugs? What about your wife's business? I'm going to have to start serving beer here.
This is true. Actually, yeah, we'll have to plug then smrphotography.net. It's very important there. And is there any other family businesses that I'm leaving out? So we might as well plug ultimateheatpads.com when we're at it. No, apologies to the wife. I'm in the doghouse for the night.
Yeah, I think you are, definitely.
Indeed. So anyway,
in fact,
moving on.
If your wife can find out what happened in the Red Hills game, that'd be great.
Let us know. Moving on, then we're just going to give you the results. There was 2 games played in the Alliance Football League Division 2, which were the round 3 postponed games between Galway Laois and Roscommon Mead. So we give you these results because it affects the table and Cavan's chances of promotion / relegation / staying in the division. So Galway were taking on Laois. This was over in Tuam, and Galway were defeated again.
Yeah.
Their home record is as bad as Cavan's because they scored 10 points and Laois went and scored 2 goals in 10.
And okay, Laois played Mead a couple of weeks ago and got a draw in Park Tolchin when they should never have got a draw. Mead kicked that game away against them in Park Tolchin. I watched it live on television, and it obviously just woke Laois up, because the team that we saw down in Port Laois that played Cavan,
they had a hand up for relegation.
They were looking for relegation. Against Mead, they should never have won that game, but it obviously gave them some sort of a lift to get a draw with Mead that day, and they've gone on and beaten which is a good enough Galway side. Like, you know, Galway aren't going to win any All-Irelands this year, but like they're still a good Division 2 team. You know, so that's a massive result for Laois.
And Roscommon were playing Meath in Hyde Park in Roscommon, and they came away with a 2-point victory. 2 goals and 10 points to Meath's 14 points. Massive result there for Roscommon.
It's huge, massive result for Roscommon, and it massively affects where Cavan's league can go this year.
As you can see, the table will be coming up on your screen now. The Alliance Football League Division 2 there, and as you can see, Down are sitting on top there. They have 8 points. That's 4 wins and 1 loss from their 5 games. Roscommon, as a result of their win against Meath, go into second position, straight out second position. 5 games played, 3 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 7 points, which leaves Meath, Cavan and Laois all with 5 points and 5 games played. And then down the bottom end of the table, you have Galway and Westmeath with 4 points and Kildare with 2. So
now, if you look at that as well, if you're just looking at the table, Cavan have to play Westmeath and Meath. Had Meath beaten Roscommon, that would have meant that Meath would be on 7 points. That would mean if we bet Westmeath on Saturday night and then beat Meath,
we'd go ahead of Meath.
We would have went ahead of Meath
on head-to-head.
On head-to-head, and we probably would have got promoted with 2 wins. Now it's taken out of our hands. It all depends on what happens with Roscommon. Roscommon, I'm not sure who they have left to play.
I'll tell you in a second. I know that
Meath and Newry playing Down this weekend. That's a huge game as well.
That's right.
And then obviously Cavan are playing Westmeath. Again, the Cavan-Westmeath game is absolutely massive now. Westmeath only with 4 points from 5 games. They need points against Cavan.
Yeah, they're staring down relegation.
Yeah, so this is going to be a dogfight between Cavan and Westmeath on Saturday evening.
Yeah, so Roscommon's last game is against Galway and Meath's last game is obviously against Cavan. And then Meath's second last game is against Down, and Roscommon's second last game is against... It's not up on the website for some reason. Roscommon...
Next weekend, Roscommon are playing... Oh, well, look...
Don't know. We'll find it again.
We'll find that out again.
We'll find it again. Sorry. Next weekend, Roscommon are playing Galway. The following week, then, is their last game is against Westmeath.
Their last game is
they're at home or they're away to Westmeath.
Right. So again, Westmeath will need to win that game on the last day. Look, Roscommon, by all means, you know, they've played really well. You know, they deserve to be in the position they're in at the moment. They're the only team that took points off Down.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, beating them in Newry.
That's right. Yeah. So like, you know, Meath playing against Roscommon on Sunday just gone by. I suppose we can get rid of that table now. Meath handed them a victory again. They were down by 2 points, Meath were, and the goalkeeper O'Rourke took a kick out, very poorly placed short kick out straight to Cathal Craig. Cathal Craig broke through one-on-one with the goalkeeper and slaughtered it to the net. So
can't give players like that that sort of an opportunity.
You know, the players of that calibre, you can't be doing that. So it was kind of I was talking to a few of the Meath lads, and that's the bitter pill that they have to take, is that they did play well. They went into a 3-point lead early in the second half, and Roscommon came back at them and then went ahead. And you know, goals win games. It's that old cliche again.
They do indeed. So next up for Cavan is this Saturday night to take on Westmeath, and that's in Kingspan Breffni Park at 7 p.m. As we say, a vital game because our destination it's not secured either way. So Cavan really need to get some sort of a result. I would say probably a point is enough to guarantee we'll stay in the division. Yeah. But 2 points is putting pressure on us, or putting pressure on Roscommon and Meath and Laois even ahead. So just to push it on. So promotion still a possibility.
Just got word in a Red Hills update, apparently.
Allegedly.
Tom McCormick came on as a sub, put the ball in his own net, and has started spreading rumours to take the attention away from his own goal.
Well, you heard it here first.
There you go.
You heard it here first.
An own goal in GAA. I've never heard the likes of it, but Only Tom McCall could do it.
Well, he could manage it, God knows. So, as we say, look, you get into Kingspan Breffni Park this Saturday evening to watch the Cavan seniors taking on Westmeath in that vital second-last Allianz Football League Division 2 clash against, as we say, Westmeath.
Be the 16th man in Kingspan Breffni Park.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, we have a very entertaining video coming up for you now, which I'm sure probably a lot of people have seen it, but anybody who hasn't seen it will enjoy this. You'll get a giggle and a half out of it. The Cavan ladies, who are excellent penalty takers, decided that it wasn't a challenge enough, so they decided they were going to do it on video. So we'll just let the video do its talking. Quality entertainment.
Absolutely brilliant. I have to say that
Well done to the Cavan ladies for doing that.
That
Was absolutely brilliant.
Not impressed with a couple of cheaters there.
Yeah. Slow going around the ball.
Mr. McCabe,
yeah.
Balancing himself off.
Yeah, steadying himself up, taking a cup of tea, and then going and kicking the ball. That just wasn't on.
Yeah.
Wasn't on.
But
we actually want to see. We want to see one of McCabe falling.
Yeah,
we have to see it.
That's
properly.
So if you can,
and in fact, I've seen him play football. He actually could be better spinning around the ball and then going to play football because he never scored a goal when I watched him.
He'd be better off just steadying himself. I'm going absolutely brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant. Well done to the Cavan ladies. My apologies, folks. I was meant to bring you earlier on. We have the interview with Terry Hyland from after the win over in Galway, in Salt Hill. Where Terry spoke to me after. So we might roll to that video and then we'll move on to the rest of the show.
It's not going to be as funny.
It's not nearly as funny. But watch the handshake at the start though and the look he gives. It's
is that what
quite
you call
funny.
It, a handshake?
It is a handshake. We'll roll to the video.
Absolutely wonderful display over in Ayr Stadium here. And it came down to a lot of hard work by the Cavan lads. They just outworked Galway.
Well, that's it, you know what I mean? I suppose, say that honesty pays, and it did pay, you know what I mean? There was a lot of talent on display as well, and a lot of good displays by individuals, like Martin Dunn and Mossy Carr. You know, a lot of lads stood up to the mark today for had great individual games, never mind a team display.
It was probably, from a Cavan point of view, most satisfying to see at the end the legs that the Cavan players had when we created that goal chance at the end, albeit it didn't go into the net, but 5 players, Cavan players, breaking out at full speed, and Galway had no ability to catch them.
Yeah, well that's true, but then it goes, as I've said before, the one thing that stops your feet from running is your head, you know, and it's the belief factor, and if you get them in, irrespective of how tired you are, if there's an opportunity on, your head tells you to go for it, you will go, you know what I mean? So from that point of view, I think it's more that the work ethic is in the lads more than anything else.
You mentioned Martin Dunn there, you brought him on pretty early in the first half. Martin Dunn could have gone one of 2 ways after being left on the sideline for a couple of games, but he came out the right way, the way you want your players that have been sitting on the bench to impact the game.
Yeah, well, look, it is a spot game anymore. There's no such thing as any first 15. You have to play everybody is available, and you know, lads are playing well or lads form good. That's the way it changes around, and that's the duty of management to do that. Okay, it's incumbent on the player himself to have the hunger when he comes on, and Martin showed that hunger.
With Killian Clark out injured and Damien Riley serving his 1-match suspension, people were worried about the middle of the field, but Mossy Cole really drove that second half midfield display.
He did, yes. He probably Mossy wouldn't be known for his fielding or for his scoring ability, but he had some great stretches in the second half and scored a wonderful point. I think that point actually took us across the line because it was an inspirational type score.
At half-time, you moved Martin Riley back to a wing half-back position, and it seemed to give him a lot of freedom that he could pick out his passes and drive from a deeper position. Was it something that you noticed in the first half that you tried to exploit?
It was just again a positional change. Martin can play as comfortable as a half-back or as a half-forward. He's a reasonable good tackler, he's honest, and again, you know, he's an interchangeable type player, so it's good to have guys like that.
I suppose a quick word maybe about Rory Dunn, an excellent display at full back today.
Yeah, Rory played very, very well, and which is, you know, all the more difficult for him because he's in Waterford, we don't see him, and possibly maybe it's a sign of that maybe you don't do as much training, you're fresher when you go into games, you know, but you know, it's a testament to Rory, he's the can.
After you turn around now, people were worried about this time last week, worried about relegation. You're in second position as we record this on the table. Is it promotion we're looking at?
Well, we hope that we can get another point of view and consolidate our position. That's all we're looking for. We just take each game as it comes. The 2 losses we had, unfortunately, were at home, maybe in front of a home crowd. But in saying that, you know, we didn't disgrace ourselves tonight in those 2 games. We were probably a little bit unlucky, especially in the down game. We thought we could have got something out of it. Perhaps the sending off would have had a bit of a factor in it as well. But no, we just take the next game as it comes. If we can get 2 more points, we'll be happy after that.
Just a quick update on the injuries. Killian Clark, how bad was the hamstring?
4 to 5 weeks.
4 to 5 weeks. Anybody else out injured for long term?
Well, you've seen Ronan Flanagan chipped the heavy out there as well, and you won't really know. You don't know what injuries until you go back to a little bit training session, and we'll do a little bit later on in the gym and see what they are.
Thanks very much, Terry, and well done.
So that was Terry Hyland speaking with Damien after the game down in Salt Hill. It was a huge game for Cavan. They needed the 2 points. Everybody was in great form after it. Terry was in good form as well. But you alluded to something when you were talking to Terry. You were saying that you know, it was great to see that the Cavan team had the legs at the very end of the game to make that break for that certain goal that didn't go in. And we all thought it was going to be a certain goal. They had a 4-on-2 or 4-on-1 situation, and it just looked like it was going to be a goal. But and then Terry said it as well. He alluded to it that it was unfortunate that the 2 losses that we've had in the league this year came at home. And I've spoken about it before with you. You've spoken about it with me. The pitch in Breffni Park, I've always said, doesn't suit Cavan football, and it doesn't suit the players that we have, because we've got very, very fast, fit players. But look, there's going to be an article, I think, done on it the Anglo-Celt. So something to look forward to, and it'll be a good read just to see the stats and stuff about it.
Yeah, because there is Paul Fitzpatrick is working on something. I'm not sure if I think it's in this week's Anglo-Celt, but I'm not 100% sure. But it's going to be worth reading, because he has compiled figures on Cavan's home records, Cavan's away records over the last number of years,
and
you will be shocked.
Yeah.
You definitely will. It's worth a read. Pick up the Anglo-Celt this week. There's quotes from a number of players, including Micky, a number of ex-Cavan players and club players as well, who were asked about the Breffni Park pitch. So it's something. It's definitely worth reading, because it's not a myth.
And it's not, because I've said it to you for years, and you've always said, Jesus Christ, you've always said, because I remember coming down and playing in Breffni Park for the first time, and I've always said it. It saps the legs. It saps the energy from the legs, and it brings teams down. Just for instance, Waterford bet Cavan in Breffni Park. Yeah. And that's just one that sticks out to me and whatever. But there are other ones and whatever, and it's just interesting that at the end of that game against Galway, that when we broke out with the ball, 4 Cavan lads, I remember we took it on the 21-yard line. Galway had pushed up to try and get the winning score.
And there was an interception.
And they just couldn't live with the Cavan lads.
Speed. It looked like lads chasing them in slow-mo.
Yeah.
So it did. But pick up the Anglo-Celt this week. It's definitely worth a read on that. The Cavan ladies, back to the Cavan ladies, now that we've gone forward to go back, which is what we always do.
2 steps forward.
1 step back, and now we're going to go 1 step forward to leave us back to where we started.
Exactly, yeah.
So the Cavan ladies, they will take on Donegal this coming Sunday in Kingspan Breffni Park at 2 o'clock. Unfortunately, it's dead rubber. It's not worth anything, because, which to me is absolute madness.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The top 4 teams in Division 2 go into a semi-final, and then the winners of those 2 games go into a final, and the winners of that get promoted.
Yeah.
So even if you win, Donegal and Cavan are the 2 undefeated teams. They come down to head-to-head in the last game. Even whoever wins that, it's irrelevant. Absolutely irrelevant. And it's a little bit disappointing that after such a wonderful campaign that whoever finishes top of the table doesn't get promoted.
Yeah, they're not guaranteed anything, so they're not.
Yeah. But look, having said that, it's still going to be worth going in to see, because Donegal are a class outfit. Armagh were a class outfit that Cavan took on, and Cavan are a class outfit. So it'll be worth going into Breffni Park this coming Sunday at 2 o'clock and have a look at those Cavan ladies.
Yeah, do indeed. St. Pat's, as we all know, picked up the McCrory Cup on St. Patrick's Day last with an impressive win over St. Pat's of Dungannon. Damien, we were down for that game. We have the programme there, which is an absolutely beautiful
publication.
Absolutely brilliant. And it's definitely, anybody who has one from the match, it's definitely well worth keeping it, because
it's a souvenir and a half.
It's a souvenir and a half, so it is. And the 43-year gap was bridged. We had the 3 lads on here last week. On Sunday evening.
That's right.
Before the McCrory Cup. The match itself was incredible, but at the end of it, the emotions, and we were doing the live commentary on it in Northern Sound. I'm not originally from Cavan. I never went to St. Pat's in Cavan. I have great love for football in Cavan through the GAA, through Drumalee and through Cavan Seniors. But the emotions, I was even welled up, so I was at the end of the game. It was absolutely amazing.
It was some absolutely amazing scenes, wonderful scenes there, and a wonderful crowd. Talk about, I'm not sure what the exact attendance was, but Armagh was full. It was absolutely full of Cavan people, and the joy that brought to not just past pupils, current pupils, teachers, the faculty down through just general Cavan people who, I've seen people there who did not go to St. Pat's but are good GAA people that know that when St. Pat's goes well, it's good for Cavan football. And that was...
It goes hand in hand with teams that are winning All-Irelands. If you look back at the Tyrones that dominated through the noughties and the 2000s and whatever, you had Oma
CBS and St. Pat's Dungannon.
They were all pushing for
Hogan's.
McCrory and Hogan's.
Yeah.
Meath, when they were winning All-Irelands, you had St. Pat's and Navan pushing for Hogan's. Galway, you had Jarlath's.
That's right.
Then there's a couple
So
more.
bring it back last year. Dingle won the Hogan Cup. Their minors went on to win the All-Ireland, and their seniors went on to win the All-Ireland.
Yeah.
So it's no secret, it's no magic wand to say that when your college team or one of your college teams are doing well, your county team will soon follow. And what really stood out for me and impressed me was Cavan, as Terry Hyland has said, you get the name for getting up early and you can lie in bed till 11 o'clock. Cavan have the name of being defensive now, blanket defence, the Black Death, all this stuff. And yet you watch St. Pat's and they are just such a beautiful team to watch.
Yeah.
Like phenomenal score taking, phenomenal speed of attack, transferring the ball, switching from one side of the field to the other, vision.
Like the turnovers like that took place, the goalkeeping saves, fielding in the middle of the park, the balls that were played in behind the defence, like
the movement to get in behind the defence. It was just brilliant, absolutely outstanding.
There was a 43-year gap. There was a lot of weight on their shoulders. They were being compared to the team of 72. They were being compared to the team of 75 that got to a final as well. There's been a lot of hype about them. They went into the first half. It was a bit like shadow boxing. As we said, it was going to be a case of they were going to have to feel their way into the game. When they got into the game,
my God,
there was just no stopping them. Went into the second half and they just blew St. Pat's of Dungannon away. Now, there was 3 massive points in that game. Fergal O'Rourke made a save in both halves, and then young Patrick O'Reilly coming on as a sub, taking on, I think it was probably the biggest man on the pitch, and like a terrier, just in around him, and then all of a sudden he came out with the ball, laid it off. Cavan set up an attack and get the goal through Thomas Edward Donohoe.
Absolutely brilliant. And we have a video here coming up for you. Finbar Riley spoke to Jerome Quinn after the game. Again, Jerome Quinn, who is at all of these college games and covers them for Ulster colleges.
Absolutely fantastic.
Wonderful coverage by Jerome Quinn. But we'll roll to that video, so it's a bit of celebrations after.
I'm the proudest man in Ulster. Incredible. I thought Jerome I'd never see this day. I went to the school myself. There were dark days. Even to win a McCrory game at one stage in St. Pat's. That's just been honest. That's been honest with you. Huge amount of work has gone into this. This team has been successful up through the ranks, but still, the McCrory Cup is one of the most difficult competitions to win in the GAA calendar. And these lads, Jerome, have worked incredibly hard. I can't even start to think to explain how hard they've worked, and thank God we've got the rewards today.
Bearing all that in mind, and bearing in mind that you were there through all those dark days as a player, as a pupil, and coming through now in management, what was it like watching the cup finally going up?
As I said, awesome, incredible. As I said, I never thought I'd see it, Jerome. When I was in the school, we had the old pictures of the teams in the 60s and the 50s, and the 72 team was a famous team that won the Hogan Cup, and they were all black and white pictures. And I honestly never thought I'd see a McCrory picture in colour in St. Pat's, but thankfully we have it. It was an awesome scene to see the cup being lifted and going to Cavan for the first time in 43 years.
Yeah, so that was Finbar Riley speaking to, as you said, Jerome Quinn, after the memorable occasion of St. Pat's lifting the McCrory Cup for the first time in 43 years.
Spoke so well as well, and you could see he wears his heart on his sleeve. Finbar tells it as it is, but he can bring it across so well. And I was talking to a couple of people who have watched that video since Jerome put it up, and they were ex-pupils of St. Pat's, and they said it just made them well up.
Oh, that's it. Like, but it'd put a lump in your throat. The passion that he's brought to it, him and Father Kevin and Shane Fitzpatrick have instilled a belief in them young boys and have put the right type of football method to them. You know, work hard, play the ball at speed, you know, take the chances when they come, and they're just such a joy to watch. And the players are a credit to the management and a credit to their families because they spoke about the effort. You know, St. Stephen's this morning going in and training, Tuesdays and Wednesday mornings at 7 o'clock going in and getting the training done, staying on to do a couple of hours study after school and then training at 6 o'clock. You know, they sacrifice so much to get that victory, and nothing less than they deserve. They, you know, we can go to a second video now which shows the 2 goals. You've seen one of them there, but a wonderful finish by Thomas Edward Donohoe after some great play coming up the field. It just missed the interception. Yeah. It just missed the crucial part before that, but it was a wonderful tackle. But you see the quality of the finishes by Thomas Edward Donohoe.
Having heard Thomas Edward being interviewed afterwards as well, like
briefly.
Yeah, very briefly, but he obviously scored 2 goals and 3 points, but he put so much of it down to the work that the rest of his team did out the field for him. Like, in fairness, like, they were massive finishes, absolutely brilliant, but the work that went on out the field to get the ball into him so that he could put the ball in the back of the net was immense. Like,
absolutely,
you know, and
phenomenal.
great for a young fella like that to recognise it, you know, like that. It was all about the team. It's class. That's
it. So we'll go to that video of Thomas Edward Donohoe's goals. Pierce Smith just finding him through, and look at the left foot finish, bottom left corner as he was running in on the goals. You know, wonderful finish, tucked it away perfectly.
Yeah, and as I saw him getting the ball in real time, I thought he had gone too close to the goalkeeper, but he just slotted it away brilliantly. And this was great work. Like.
Such vision by Thomas Galligan, unbelievable, and lovely the finish pulls it back across the other side. There's another angle actually available on BBC where you can see from the other side of the field the finish by Thomas Edward Donohoe.
Like, everybody walked it up. Hard, everybody running off the shoulder, just kicked it into me, and it was put on play for me, really.
Yeah, so Ted didn't get the chance really to say as much as he'd like to say, or maybe he said as much as he wanted to say.
That's all he needed to say. That's all he needed to
just thank the lads for bringing it up.
You were going to say that the other angle, the BBC angle, and you see him cutting across in front of the defender, the goalkeeper comes out to him, and he's only left with a yard.
If even,
if even, to put that ball into, and he just slotted it away. Great presence of mind, a wonderful footballer, and one to watch for the future, definitely. Now, there's numerous players in that team to watch, but Thomas Edward will be one as well. Yeah,
one more to watch, which was key in the game, and you mentioned it already, was the man between the posts. Talk about an outstanding performance. Fergal O'Rourke kept St. Pat's in a game that, you know, the goal chances that he saved were at crucial times.
They were. The thing about it was that St. Pat's at Cavan were dominating the game in first half and second half, but they hadn't got a lot of scores on the board from their dominance. And if St. Pat's at Dungannon had got the goal at either stage that he saved,
it could have been detrimental.
It could have been detrimental. It could have put them back into the fore, and they could have pushed on from there. Yeah. But it seemed to lift the Cavan St. Pat's team when they saw their goalkeeper saves. Like, it was absolutely wonderful.
And we have a video of those 2 saves, so we'll roll to that.
You can see now the crowd there in Armagh. But this is like, it was a great break by St. Pat's Dungannon. That's a lovely little slip ball. And that's a wonderful save. That is just a wonderful save.
I'll tell you what I liked most about it was the fact that when he hit ground, he looked to see where the ball was. Then he said, okay, I have time to get up slow. You know, but he was ready to bounce again. This was in the second half now. Cian McManus had alluded to the fact that he gave away the ball, but
in the first half, like, that's a point blank save. That's 7 yards out. The goalkeeper is coming out to him, and he spread himself so big. Yeah. But apart from his saving,
like at a crucial time there. Imagine that goal would have put Dungannon 2 points in front.
Would have put them 2 points in front, and you never know what could have happened. But apart from his saves, which were incredible, and he could have easily got man of the match as well, like for the way he played. his kick out.
Brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant. This is
all the time giving the advantage to St. Pat's.
Yeah,
Cavan.
And when Cavan, St. Pat's, Cavan would if they conceded a score, they had a kick out set up for it straight away, and he was just so aware to it every time. He, as you said, gave the advantage to the St. Pat's Cavan player all the time, and definitely another star in the making.
And long may it last, because he has the talent to come through and be a county senior star. But the result of that McGrory Cup game sees Cavan, St. Pat's of Cavan, go through to the Masita GAA All-Ireland Post-Primary School Hogan Cup semi-final. This is semi-final A, and it's taking place this coming Saturday, the 28th of March, down in Nina. They're taking on, here we go, Pubskull Corca Duveen.
No, but you're close. Pubskull Corca Divna.
Divna.
Yeah.
Which is Dingle. Which is Dingle.
No,
and
Dangan is Dingle.
Huh?
Dangan is Dingle.
Okay, but the school is in
It's
Dingle.
in Dingle. Yeah, sorry. I thought you were in Divna. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it is in Dingle. Yeah, it's the school. From
So,
Dingle.
and they are the current All-Ireland champions, Hogan Cup champions. They have won 4 Munster colleges titles in a row now. So they're, these are strong favourites. They're managed by Eamon Fitzmaurice, the Kerry manager.
They are indeed, and they've got Kerry breeding in them. So like it's like going down to play hurling against a Kilkenny team.
That's exactly it. But yet the funny thing is, St. Pat's Cavan go in as favourites.
Yeah.
St. Pat's Cavan have been put in by the bookmakers as favourites to win the Hogan Cup, probably because of the impressive way they've come through the McGrory. And they've been absolutely outstanding. But that game, as you say, it's in Nina at 2 o'clock this coming Saturday. A long journey down, but well worth it if you can get down to it, because the St. Pat's boys need as much support as possible to push on and maybe make that Hogan Cup final.
It's a long way down. It's not really a kind of a halfway point. I thought it would have been Portlaoise, Tullamore.
It's a long, long way to Tipperary.
It is, yeah. It is.
Definitely is. Definitely
Especially Nina and Tipperary.
Exactly. It's a longer way to Nina. But look, get down to Nina this coming Saturday if you can at all. Get out and support them boys. They're an impressive team to watch, and we hope that they can get another impressive result and get into a Hogan Cup final.
Absolutely. So that'll bring us on now to the 2015 Ulster Under-21 Football Championship quarter-final that was played last Wednesday in Ballybuffet between Donegal and Cavan. It was played at 8 p.m. and Cavan, unfortunately, were going for 5 in a row, and the dream was taken away from us by Donegal in the last minute, a Ryan McHugh goal. Finished Donegal 1 goal and 7 points, Cavan 9 points. It was a weird game. It was a weird game. We never looked like, we never felt safe, even when we went ahead in the second half. I have to compliment them on their second half performance.
It was a lot better than the first.
Yeah, the game. In fairness, the game could have been over at half time. Donegal missed 2, if not 3 goal chances in the first half. 2 definite goal chances,
and hit a total, I think, of 10 wides in the first half.
And Cavan only in the last 10 minutes woke up. They were 5 points to 1 down. Went in 5 points to 4 down at half time. In fairness, it has to be said that the man who dragged us back into that first half was Queeving O'Reilly,
without a doubt,
from Butler's Bridge. Absolutely brilliant to see his performance over the 70 or the 60 minutes. Actually, his performance was absolutely outstanding, and it got to the stage where he did get cramp. He went down with cramp
because he had ran so much.
Socks of himself. So
but he took on what I would say they were actually lacking, was he took on a leader's role for a young fella. And I thought the other person who really impressed me on the Cavan team was Kevin Brady from the Cavan Gaels club at the middle of the field. His work rate was phenomenal. He ran and ran and ran. Just done the simple things well. Didn't complicate it. There was no 60-yard kick passes into open spaces or anything like that. But he just was an option every time Cavan under 21s got a ball. He was an option. He was running in front. He was coming supporting from behind, and it was great to see those 2 lads playing well. After that, you'd have to say Kieran Brady came into it in the second half, but his use of the ball in the first half was disappointing for a man of his calibre.
Oh, absolutely, definitely. And as you said, he did come into it in the second half. Porrick Faulkner came into it as well. He had a good enough first half when he got to grips with what was happening. Donegal, like in fairness, we spoke to a couple of people. Donegal went at Cavan for the first 20 minutes. Now, they didn't have the legs to keep
They ran out
going.
of steam.
They ran out of steam. But
and then they started pumping high ball in on top of the square, and Porrick Faulkner was dealing with them brilliantly, I have to say.
And then Porrick got injured with about 5-10 minutes to go,
which proved to be detrimental.
It did at the end of the game. It was a killer blow not to have him there,
because the time was up. It was 33 minutes, which there was 3 minutes of additional time put up on the board. 33 minutes just shy of 33 minutes when Donegal got a free just about the 45-metre line,
out towards the terrace side of
and they dropped it onto the square, and it was broken down, fell to Ryan McHugh, who shuffled to his left-hand side, made a bit of room for himself to get the shot away and put it low to the back of the net.
Yeah.
Killer blow, something similar, I suppose, to what happened last year in the Athletics grounds to Donegal. Not the same style of goal, but the same scenario. Donegal were in front in a poor enough game last year. It was a poor game on Wednesday night by all accounts.
Just as you mentioned, Ryan McHugh, Donegal got a penalty in the second half when the cornerback was taken down. Actually, the cornerback found himself in the box. Look, even Donegal people said it was never a penalty. He went up and caught the ball, and as he was going backwards, he hit a Cavan player, and he fell to the ground, and he got a penalty. But he did get a penalty. The Cavan goalkeeper, young Fagan, made a brilliant save. Ryan McHugh put it low to the goalkeeper's left, right down the corner. Young Fagan got down, palmed it out, went for a 45. And that seemed to spur Cavan players on.
Yeah, it did.
They did. We drove at them then and whatever, but it was the final, as you said, the final ball, like Killian Naholla in the first half, or Kieran Naholla in the first half. His final ball, when we got up to that area, was poor. In the second half, it was the final ball as well that was killing us, and a couple of wides. The big thing was, with 30 seconds, 40 seconds left on the clock, we had a 3-on-2 situation with Cavan going forward. One of the Cavan players, I can't remember who it was, elected to take a shot on himself instead of maybe giving it to the player in the better position. Drop short, goalkeeper got it. Donegal played up the pitch, get that free, and then they get the goal to win the game.
It was disappointing because there was a lot of, although Cavan didn't play well in my opinion and didn't play an attractive brand of football, they probably could have won the game and probably should have won the game, but it was very disappointing because there was the last 10 minutes for Cavan, a number of turnovers by Donegal where lads were carrying ball into tackle instead of laying it off. Give the simple option, maybe even spraying it wide. There was a couple of times we were noting down to our right-hand side substitution, I think it was Vinny Coyle had come on, and he was hugging the sideline in acres of space with space ahead of him, and they couldn't find him with the ball. They weren't playing it out. Maybe their heads weren't up to look for it, but it was bitterly disappointing because on paper that team was good. It was very good, but they were lacking leaders.
That's what it was. In fairness, oh God, we're not having
2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row. Oh, leave it. It's not going to go anywhere now.
Sorry, Conor.
The Messiah. They definitely were. It's been notable this year with the under-21 team, the games that we've seen, the games that I've been at and whatever, is that they have been lacking someone to just take the game by the scruff of the neck and say, right, this is our game. Yeah.
Do what Conor Moyne had done last year, what other players down through the years have been doing during the success. And it was funny that I thought before the game, notable that Conor Moyne was asked to come in and go onto the sideline and try and G up the lads. I think that was the management's reaction to say, we're missing a leader here. Maybe Conor can help us out again. But sometimes, and I was thinking about it after, like, as a management, that must be a nightmare, because what do you do if you haven't got a leader, if you haven't got a personality that is a leader? What can you do?
Yeah, you can't turn someone into that person, because the funny thing was, out of the last 6 years, we've won 4 in a row. We lost the final the year beforehand, this is the 6th year of under-21s since that. I think that this was the best panel of players. We'll say the 42 that they had. They had cover in every single position, as good as the player that was on the pitch. They just, as you said, didn't have that one standout fella that was just going to scruff the neck and say, right, this is our game, and
pull it together.
Which was unfortunate, because that's all that this team was missing, I think.
Yeah, and it's just disappointing that they didn't push on. But look, all good things have to come to an end, and maybe, as I was saying on the way back from the game, maybe the defeat in the long term at this stage mightn't be the worst thing ever, because now we can take stock, reevaluate what the under-21s is meant to be doing for us. Winning them is absolutely brilliant, but we haven't produced a lot of forwards from those under-21 teams.
True.
And maybe that's what we should be looking at for the next 2-3 years of under-21s, is focusing on creating quality forwards. We have an abundance of excellent defenders, I think, in the county. I think we have enough midfield cover, going back down to like even Liam Buchanan, who would have been a big loss there to them. But like the even lads on the bench, the young Monaghan there from Drumlane, as well as Michael Argue, going into the series. We know we've lost there. I think it's forwards we need to be creating in Cavan, and maybe the under-21 can be that project. Well,
and looking at the St. Pat's team as well going forward, and you're after mentioning already, like, you know, you had Liam Buchanan, Michael Argue, young Monaghan. You've got Thomas Galligan, like there's midfielders.
Greg McGovern.
You have
Brendan Argue.
Brendan Argue, all these lads from midfield.
It.
So midfield is fine. Yeah. It's the likes of your Thomas Edward Donohoes that we need to be breeding more of.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We need forwards in this county. I think everybody who's watched the seniors this year can even agree with that we need more scoring forwards, and that's something that I'd like to see personally. The under-21s change the attention into defensively we're excellent. Go and attack teams now and see, because we've been low scoring in all our Ulster Championship victories to date. So at under-21, but I'd like to see it evolve. But we'll move on, because I spoke to Peter Riley after the game in Ballybuffet, and we just have a quick video of that interview.
Yeah, Peter, bitterly disappointing result at the end after a courageous second half display, but a goal at the end that just made a difference.
Yeah, goal 2 minutes into time with 2 point leads, obviously killer. We did get back up the field, we just didn't crash at the point, which we hoped we would, but we didn't, and that's it. It's a very good game.
It's I suppose the Donegal have been playing in a lot of high ball, and earlier on has been well dealt with by Paul Faulkner, but his injury was crucial to the game.
Yeah, Park came off injured. We had a few lads came off near the end. Park had a hamstring injury before Quinn with a header for an awful long time, but unfortunately he had to come off. All lately, I think he was on the field when that high ball was in. They didn't stay back out, but then was the breaks.
The first half display, lads just didn't seem to quite get into it. Donegal, in fairness to them, played exceptionally well, but second half was a big improvement.
Yeah, the first 15 minutes we didn't play much at all, and they played a lot of the game, but for the rest of the game, for the next 45 minutes, we were the best team game wide. And on balance, we probably should have been more than 2 points ahead, but again, we weren't, and unfortunately the goal proved crucial.
Some of the newcomers to the team that weren't really around last year really stood up when they were needed. Quinn and Riley had an exceptional game with Kevin Brady in the middle of the field.
Yeah, both lads, both excellent footballers, and we knew that coming in with a lot of talent in the field, and we hoped we'd get a performance, and we did get a performance in. On another day, it would have been enough. Like 9 times out of 10, that performance would win your match, but unfortunately, they got the goal in extra time.
Was the away trip up here, I suppose, a little bit difficult to maybe prepare a team when you're coming on a long journey up the road?
No, we done it last in Derry, and we had a good performance up there. It's obviously the familiar surroundings of the football pitch probably helps the home team somewhat more so than anything else. But travel arrangements, everything else is organised along with it, and it's comfortable with that.
Were you all happy with the preparation, or was there anything that could have been done differently?
Well, we were happy. Obviously, we knew this game was coming up a long way out. We had owned in our preparation towards that, and we were happy enough. Obviously, we had a few knocks and injuries we can do nothing about. But no, in my mind, we done as much as we possibly could, and performance proved that. It was just one of those, like, we didn't push on enough to get them few extra scores and 4 points, and that goal wouldn't matter.
I suppose you look back on your 3 years now as Cavan under-21 manager, and that's the first defeat you've had in Ulster. It's a bitter pill.
Absolutely, anytime you lose, it's a bitter pill. Like, the 3 games that we've lost as a management team, they're all a point. So we haven't been very fortunate on 1 point victories.
I suppose, as you say, after the way football goes, sometimes you can lose, but at least 1 point shows you're competitive all the way. So look at hard luck tonight, but well done overall, Peter.
All right.
That was Damien talking to Peter Riley, a very disappointed Peter Riley after the game. It's his first loss at under 21 level in Ulster in 3 years.
Phenomenal record.
Great record.
Phenomenal record. And credit has to go to Peter and his entire backroom team, everybody around him there, because they were well prepared. Like they were in great physical shape. I don't think they left any stone unturned with their preparation. It was and if somebody had said to you a number of years back, or me or anybody, that Cavan can produce a manager from within the county that can go 2 years undefeated in Ulster. In 3 years of under 21 campaigns, they've lost 3 games, and those games have all been lost by one single point. Like, we're so competitive. We're up there with the best in the country, and that's credit to, as I said, the amount of effort, the amount of work rate that the management have instilled into the players. And I'm a firm believer that players will respond to management putting in a big effort. If they don't see management putting in a big effort, the players won't respond to it. So, you can only look at the, I would say, obsession that Peter Riley, Joe McCarthy, Finbar Riley, obviously involved with them there as well, Kieran, everybody that is involved, Ronan, Carlin, absolute brilliant men for Cavan football. And like I'm saying, I'd like to see a change in style of football, but the men that are there are brilliant. They've put in brilliant work, and they've brought Cavan on so much further than we could have ever hoped. So, it's an absolute credit to them, and a big disappointment for the players and the management, and they were visibly, we were around the dressing rooms after, and visibly very, very disappointed.
Oh, absolutely, and you could see that they were absolutely gutted. It's not nice losing, but these lads are not used to losing.
No.
So, hopefully what it does is it drives their hunger and it drives their will to win for the next time that they go out, and hopefully, it's not the last of we'll be seeing of these lads in Cavan jerseys.
Yeah, without a doubt. So that's us almost finished on this week's show. On next week's show, yes, we're already. Imagine we're only an hour and a few minutes into it. On next week's show, we'll be bringing you some more details of the upcoming Mick Higgins Memorial, which is taking place in New York on the 9th of April and the 12th of April in Gaelic Park. We're hoping to have some interviews, Skype interviews with some of the New York contingency.
Exactly,
and
maybe management or selectors or something, or anybody from New York basically would be grand.
If your auntie was over there and she's heard of a football, we'll talk to her. And we'll hopefully we'll be bringing you some interviews with the New York management or players over there, and what it means to them to have the Cavan team coming over to play in this Mick Higgins Memorial Tournament. So tune in next week for that.
Yeah, and just some breaking news just after seeing it on Twitter is that Owen O'Gara, the Dublin forward, the full forward for Dublin, has been ruled out of the rest of the season with ligament damage.
Big
just
blow.
A huge loss to Dublin. Just anything GAA just seemed to pop up, and I thought that was interesting. So just,
definitely a big loss.
Massive
Absolute
loss.
big loss. So hopefully Cavan are dealt no blows like that.
Yes, exactly.
Indeed. So that brings us to the end of this week's show. Remember, if you want to get in contact with us, we'd be delighted to hear your views.
We would, yeah. So you can email us on GaelicFootballViews@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook by searching Gaelic Football Views, or you can follow us on Twitter @GaelicFV.
You can also send us some screws or sticky tape or blue tack to keep these photos up on the wall, because that's 2 weeks in a row.
Stick them to a postcard and send them to us here. Brian Daly again at the Cavan Crystal Hotel on the Dublin Road in Cavan. So our thanks to our backroom man tonight, not staff but man, the one and only
Brian Daly.
Yeah,
the man that can.
The man that can, but he can't stick pictures to a wall by the looks of it. So anyway, look, until next week, it's goodbye from me, and it's
God bless.